Sunday School teacher, thank you for joining us for our time of study. We're going to be looking at the lesson for Sunday, May 17th. The title of this lesson is Citizens. We're going to be in Romans chapter 13, verses 1 through 14. And the point of this lesson is that believers should seek to represent Christ well in their communities and in the world. Now, there's going to be some points cause much discussion in your group, so you need to be ready, and you'll hear those as we go through them. But you got the outline. We're looking at the lesson entitled Citizens, May 17th. In the outline, you see the introductory comments. The first thing is that in this study, Paul is helping Roman Christians understand to submit to God-ordained authorities. Paul is continuing his discussion on demonstrating genuine faith in everyday life. Part of that is we have to live in society with governments. Well, how do we react to that? Well, that's what we're talking about. Verses 1 through 7 focus on the believer's relationship to government. Verses 8 through 10 we're going to be looking at our relationship with our neighbor. And then verses 11 through 14, we're going to be looking at our living in a proper relationship with God and others. So let's jump into these. Verses 1 through 7, submit. Verse 1. Let everyone submit to the governing authorities, since there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are instituted by God. So then, the one who resists the authority is opposing God's command, and those who oppose it will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Do you want to be unafraid of the authority? Do what is good, and you will have its approval. For it is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, because it does not carry a sword for no reason. For it is God's servant, an avenger that brings wrath on the one who does wrong. Therefore you must submit, not only because of wrath, but also because of your conscience. For this reason you pay taxes, since authorities are God's servants, continually attending to these tasks. Pay your obligations to everyone. Taxes to those you owe taxes, tolls you owe tolls, respect those you owe respect, and honor those you owe honor. So here, you can take the whole lesson right here. Number 1 in verse 1, Christians should always be on the forefront of standing for, participating in, and honoring good government. So there's nothing wrong with being involved in politics, because we're told here to do so. Submit. When he says let everyone submit, that's all people are to place themselves under those in authority. In verse 1, he says that those that are in power are there because God did it. Listen, I know there's question, but God's Word and God being sovereign, there's not anything that catches Him by surprise. So if they're in power, God knows about that, and God put them there. Verse 2. God instructed believers to avoid rebelling against God-established authorities, either in